Alexis Diaz. He did not have a good week. He's not had a really good stretch. Mm-hmm. He hasn't had a save since May 10th. Today's the 20th. You're listening to this on the 21st. So by the time you're listening to this, he would not have had a save in 11 days. It is tough to be a closer if you aren't saving games.
Very much so. You kind of get viewed as like the punter or like the field goal kicker. Like no one really cares about it if you're making field goals. But as soon as you don't, everything gets put on you.
It's like, hey, easy. No. But it's also, if you look, they weren't really putting him in situations to close games.
Very true.
They were putting him in situations that were high leverage, not closing the door, high leverage to keep the game going. And what have we said on this podcast about David Bell?
He really doesn't mind putting closers into non-closing situations and having them then not do well. We saw it previously with other closers. We've seen it with Diaz now, where it just seems to be you put them in these situations and you're asking them in these non-closing situations like, hey, do this, but do it with your opposite hand. Like they have to start thinking about it, you know?
Yeah. Hey, I want you to get out of your routine, the thing that you're really good at and what you do. So before you go out there, we're going to spit in one of your eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so look, David Bell did the same thing with Raisel Iglesias. I'm pretty sure he's doing a really good job in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And they stumbled into Alexis Diaz. They have another guy who is a closer. And look, I get it. On May 13th, against Arizona that Monday, and he blew it. He had a walk problem, and then Kevin Newman hit a single to bring in those 2 runs. But aside from that, before May 10th, didn't have a whole lot of opportunities to close games because the Reds are 3-14 in the month of May.
Yeah, he's not getting a lot of work in, but that's not his fault. And like we were just saying, it's a different situation going in a non-closing, non-competitive situation, at least to Diaz. It seems very evident that when he gets in there and game is on the line, that's when, Eye of the Tiger kicks in. You know?
That's when the reggaeton hits.
Yeah.
That's when the salsa comes on.
That's when his internal trumpets start going off.
He's thinking of his brother's walkout song, dude. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing. And then the Dodgers, the Shohei single was not a save situation, yet just another high leverage situation and going, we need you to take care of these 3 batters, the 3 best batters in the Dodgers lineup, including Shohei Ohtani. And there's a reason he gets paid $700 million for the next 9 million years, is because he stepped up, he did it in that situation, and knocked in the runner from second with that single in the right field.
Yeah, it was a bummer, and up to that point, we really shouldn't even been in that situation. That game shouldn't have went to extras. We had Ellie as our ghost runner in there and didn't even get off second base.
Yep.
I was very confused. I thought for sure he was going to be on third with at least 1 out.
Bunt him over.
Yeah, dude, didn't happen. Some questionable calls, but ultimately the offense not participating in a lot of these games is getting them in these situations.
Right. So you're asking this guy to go out of his comfort zone to do what he doesn't do well, just so he can get some work in, because he's not getting put into the situation where he succeeds and was an all-star last year. Mm-hmm. So how are you expecting him to react? And that's how I expect him to react, is by how he's pitching right now.
Yeah, and I understand, like, it's a high-leverage situation. You're paying these guys a lot of money. They're talented athletes. You think, like, well, they should be able to go in and do it.
It's not
no
the
matter.
same.
Yeah. And I was just thinking about something. I'll come back to it.
It's just not the same. You are asking him to go out and do something that, when you are a closer, you have a routine. Mm-hmm. You have what you want to do to get to that spot. And guess what? He's been asked to go out of that and do it. He'll publicly say, oh, yeah, no. I want to pitch for this team. I want to figure it out. I'll go wherever they need me. But privately, I'm telling you right now, he is in there livid going, I only close games. I only close games. I know that for a fact because I heard from somebody that Raisel Iglesias went to ownership and said, I close games. Don't put me in these situations. And David said, I'm the manager. I'm going to put him in these situations. And Nick Kroll said, I'm the GM. I helped build this out. I'm going to put you in that situation too. And then someone had to step in and say, no, he closes. And then what happened then next year? He got traded because he wasn't playing along with the plan. Are we going to do that again to another closer?
I really hope we don't, because I feel, at least last year, we're looking at it, we were doing putting checks next to boxes of players that we have locked down. We're thinking about shortstop, center fielder. Closer seems to be check box.
Yeah.
In my mind. So hopefully we don't put them down a path that's going to do anything to disrupt that.
Yep.
But currently we're in a little murky situation. But again, I have full confidence that Alexis is going to get out of this. And of course, once he's in his typical closing situations, I think these numbers will show that he is an all-star. He is at one of the top closers in baseball.
Yeah. And if you think about it, before, I think it wasn't before that save on 5-10 in San Francisco, he didn't save a game in May.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I think I'm right here because, dude, imagine that you have 11 days off of work, and then they're just like, oh yeah, can you come in real quick? We need you to do something really high end for us, real stressful and real quick, and be like, what? But I haven't done it in so long.
Yeah, that's going to be difficult.
It's just crazy. It's just, yeah, dude. Yeah, he didn't. Yeah, he hadn't had a save since 4/29 because then he went in 5-5 against Baltimore, and that's because they just kept getting blown out that series.
Yeah, he's not getting a lot of opportunities.
No.
So, I mean, what can you do? I mean, it's just thinking the punter is the reason why your team isn't doing well.
Yeah.
It's well, if you keep putting them back out on the field, I mean, it's because you guys aren't doing something right. A little bit opposite here.
Yeah. He blew the 330 save. Okay. And then he blew Arizona, which he didn't have a blown save until August last year. But again, he has 7 saves already. I don't know. I think it's just foolish for anyone to say that he needs to be demoted out of that role when he hasn't been given the opportunity a lot this year to be in that role.
Yeah, that's just a quick thing to say for people that haven't really analyzed or aren't really paying attention. If you're just getting the little bullet points and saying that Alexis, blew a save, or he was the last guy that was pitching when Shohei got the hit, you might just take that and be well, he's lost it. Typical Red stuff here. But that's not at all what's happening. He's a very talented pitcher.
Young.
Young dude. He's going to be totally fine here. The Reds need to give him more opportunities to be in a winning game to where he can close and be the closer, the stopper that we know that he is, as opposed to just kind of tinkering around and just trying to get him some work in high leverage situations. That isn't exactly how he plays.
Bingo.